Horn and set for combat insertion.
Crevice to the east. Let's go. Who's next? I'm ready! How about you?
Lieutenant, get aboard! We gotta get the hell out of here!
Negative. I have the gun. Good luck, sir.
Good luck to you, Spartan.
All stations, brace for cast-off. This is the Pillar of Autumn. We're away. Packages with us.
let's see about that. All right. You guys let me know if you can hear me. Not quite sure. Let me just check my own stream. Just make sure the audio settings is good before I start rambling about stuff. I think I'm really quiet. Am I really quiet? You guys let me know. Is my audio good? Also, can't believe this. The Noble 6 cloak is winning quite a bit. Maybe I shouldn't be too surprised. Yes. Okay. I am very quiet, some people are saying. Loud and clear. Maybe just turn up your audio a little bit. Okay, perfect. Welcome, 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 guys. Glad to have you with me. Maybe a little too quiet still. I could try to turn it up. I don't think there is much of a way I can turn it up. Yeah, turn up your gain. Okay. So, guys, I'm really not great at setting up. How about that? Is that any better? I hate tweaking audio settings on a stream. I know you guys just want to hear about what you came here for, but I just have to turn up the gain, I think. Low volume, low volume. Damn. All right. So yeah, today we're going to be going over kind of like a slideshow. I know it's probably not like the most exciting thing. I know you guys probably just want to see the actual animation. Unfortunately, I don't have it. It's not done. This is something that I've really just got started on visually. The script is being wrapped up and it's being really thought about. It's something that I really want to make sure that we get right the first time. And I might actually be turning up the gains here. So hopefully that's coming out a little bit better than before. I think that's the best I can do for now. And hopefully the audio settings are good. So, yes, we are going to be breaking down Noble 6 Ghost of Reach. And I'm going to be breaking down quite a few things here. These are what the subjects that I want to discuss today. What is this animation about? Why are you making it? Right? Doesn't this ruin Noble 6's sacrifice? This is disrespectful to Reach, right? I have quite a few things to say about that. And if you're in that camp, right? Because there probably are a lot of y'all that are like, well, this is disrespectful to maybe Noble 6, but this is a different timeline, which we're going to be talking about after that. What is the Noble timeline? It's a fan cinematic universe that I'm starting to build. As y'all know, probably Master Chief versus Noble 6 was a lot of that story was borrowed from Reclaimer Gaming's writing, but that doesn't mean I'm just going to animate everything from Reclaimer Gaming. This is a universe that I want to have anthology stories about. I'm rewriting Halo canon on my own terms and exploring things that I know fans want to explore. And I'm not trying to replace Halo or anything, but this is something that I'm really excited about. And I'm going to be talking about behind the scenes, what I'm doing here, why I'm doing it, why I love Noble 6. Is it an overhyped self-insert? Right? And it's also, Reclaimer Gaming just posted, yes, it's not disrespectful if it's a what if, right? That's what the Noble timeline is that it's a what if fan cinematic universe, right? So super excited to break all this down. What did I learn from the teaser? All right, so overwhelmingly positive feedback. Probably easily, actually, I think the largest video I've ever received on my entire 11 years of doing Halo Follower. Like not only the largest animation I've ever posted, with it, especially with it just being a teaser, right? But the how many views it got so quickly was overwhelming. Overwhelmingly positive feedback. However, I'm still looking at the negative feedback or criticism and seeing where I can improve. I'm going to talk about world building, Lost Wolves, Lightfire Studios, and Q&A. So let's go ahead and crack into it. Hopefully, you guys have been stuck with me here. I'm sorry it's taken so long to just get to this point. So what is this film about? It is about Noble Six. This is an animated film that I am going to be developing in Source Filmmaker. This is the same engine as Team Fortress 2 and all my other animations pretty much. We're going to be exploring the what if Noble Six survived Halo Reach's ending. We are picking up directly after the events that we last saw Noble Six, right before he died. And this is where he was fighting the Zealots. We are picking up right there and then. Really exciting stuff in just the first seconds. No time to waste or set up anything. So this ties into the fan Noble Timeline cinematic universe that I'm developing with friends on and off, such as the Master Chief versus Noble Six. It's going to be a prequel to that. And then hopefully after that, we are going to be getting into Lost Wolves and then Master Chief versus Noble Six Part 2, where the team faces approaches or encounters, I should say, the Arbiter, Fire Team Osiris, including Locke, and got some fun twist on that I want to work with Reclaimer Gaming on, as well as my good friend Brendan Ray. So we are going to be following a personal cinematic, character-rich story of B312 going AWOL and Reach. Now, some people are like, well, he's a, lone wolf. How could he go AWOL? These things are going to be explained. So he stays behind. Lost in rage and reflection, this dying Spartan is approached by an unlikely and unworldly being and begins an assault on a Covenant fleet building operation. Not many people know this, but actually in canon, Reach was not entirely glassed. In fact, large portions of it weren't glassed and actually used. The titanium deposits on Reach were used to build Covenant ships. This is why they didn't glass everything. So I want to talk about the themes and points now. So this is a story about a man wanting to die. We're going to get more into this in the story. I just don't want to spoil things. But the themes of it include rage and reflection, revenge and madness, which y'all may have seen from the Pikes. But Noble Six, he's a Spartan. He's been trained as a soldier. He's a Spartan 3. He's been doing this since he was 6. And he's never going to be normal, right? He's never going to be a normal human. But who is he deep down? Where is his humanity, right? What is his responsibility in the Cortana-created conflict? Is he at fault? Because at the end of the day, Cortana did help save humanity. However, she is also destroying humanity now in the timeline where we see 6 years later in Halo 5, which we see in Master Chief versus Noble Six. By the way, guys, thank you so much for the super chats. I'll be catching up on those. I just want to get through a couple slides here first. So, and welcome the new people that just jumped in. So what is his responsibility? And also another theme is that we're going to be setting up a character arc. Maybe not so much of a theme, but we're building for Noble Six as a strong lead in the Noble timeline. So he's not only going to be the main character in the Noble timeline. In fact, there will probably be many animations that do not include Noble Six. I count on it. You should count on it too. But it's called Noble Timeline just because I think it's easy to remember, and that I don't know, kind of sounds good. Another theme, or rather directing style, is going to be the ethereal and ominous feeling of this story. This is something I haven't really done before. I kind of touched upon it in Halo: The Lost Wolves Episode 1. But this is not a glamorous story. It's not going to be... In fact, there was maybe even a little bit too much glamour in this teaser. It's going to be gritty and evoke a sense of purgatory. And if you don't know what purgatory is, it's that elusive place, between heaven and hell. It's kind of like you're dead, but you're not really dead, where ghosts are. This is something that was a big North Star for Halo: The Lost Wolves, and this is something that I want to be doing here too. So major points is non-glamorous combat and narrative. Think the beginning of Logan. There is going to be combat in this. In fact, there was going to be a pretty intense fight scene in this, but I decided that I just wanted to tease people, and I'll talk about why I just wanted to tease y'all in this animation I just released. This is a dark, gritty story of grief and loss, okay? And I'm looking at things like Walking Dead, The Boys, Logan, and taking the darkest parts of those and really using that part of the cinematography. I'm looking at Halo Reach, rewatching things, replaying the games to quite really understand quite what the game was going for in the first place, and to build upon that. I am not trying to change Reach. I am trying to enhance it where I can. And that means more fluent animation, more fluent cinematography, and more character building, and really saturate it as much as I can. And we're going to get to a Q&A section. I see I'm kind of looking at y'all's comments. Really do love the input here. A lot of great questions. So same cinematography as Halo the Lost Wolves, basically Reach's run and gun cinematography, but basically more stylish and more cinematic when possible. Dutch angles, turning the camera sideways, things like that. I want you guys, the viewer, to be right there next to Noble Six. It's not going to be shot in a, per se, like always a cinematic style, but there's going to be a lot of that run and gun that we know mixed in with like kind of what the teaser was expressing, right? And I want to show the Covenant in a light we've never seen it before. So far, we've seen humanity wiped out, destroyed, tortured, yada yada from the Covenant, but we really haven't seen that idea flipped on its head. This is the revenge of Noble Six, and honestly, the Spartans should be dead. And so that's what I want to explore, and that essentially part of the theme is Noble Six's decline into madness. So real quick, just want to recap what the Noble timeline is. Simply put, it's my own Halo universe adaptation. It's friendly to the canon. It's going to be respecting the canon, but it's going to be kind of Halo fanifying it, I guess, in a way that I think I enjoy more, which happens to be what a lot of Halo fans enjoy more than maybe some of the things that 343 has written in the past. This isn't to spite 343 or to overwrite anything they've done. This is just some kind of fan timeline, right? So it's nothing too special, but I do this for fun. I'm not trying to rewrite Halo. This is just a fun what-if universe that is going to be consistent within itself, right? If that makes sense. Thank you guys so much for jumping in, by the way. Welcome, new people. So world building and environment. This is wildly important to me, not only in this universe, but also Halo the Lost Wolves. And we'll talk about Halo the Lost Wolves' connection to this universe, if there is even one, later. But Planet Reach it's subtle, but it is its own character. In this universe, I am making it its own character. And what I mean by that is that it is going to have a lot of personality to it. And as you can see, I write down exactly what all this is going to look like. Actually, sorry, just one second. Something just came up. Okay, just checking the stream real quick, making sure. Okay, perfect. So, it is a dying planet. The plants and air are decimated by radiation and toxic fumes. And in order to create an environment like this, I've needed to think of stylish things. Not just a desert, but I need to think of plants, caverns, lakes, forests, debris. A world that was once beautiful is now dead, right? Dead grass, dead bushes. What kind of plants would survive a apocalyptic event like this? I'm thinking of particles, small pebbles, rocks, gravel, dust falling from between the rocks in caverns, fog, fire, unnatural storms, static, lightning, things like that, hurricanes, asteroids, unstable ground, poisonous ravines, gas leaks, glass, nuclear wasteland. I want this planet to be believable. And I'm glad that some people mentioned it, but the wind is also kind of its own character. So this is the crux of this stream. Actually, this is the core of it, I guess, so to speak. This undoes Noble Six's sacrifice. I saw this a lot, right? Ski Bowen Central said, "I love Reach. It's my favorite Halo, and this looks cool, but I kind of wish people would just leave the tragic death of Six alone." Clone Commando said, "I like the idea of the film, but it kind of spits on the legacy of Noble Six. Is supposed to be there. He's supposed to be dead at the end of Reach, right? Noble Six's sacrifice is supposed to show that he would finish his mission no matter the cost, right?" Fry says, "Look nice looks nice, but retconning Noble Six's sacrifice for fanfic seems outright disrespectful. So these are not wrong, per se. However, I do have a rebuttal. In fact, I kind of agree with them, but this is why this next slide is so important. And that is my screen blurry? Okay, someone said my screen's blurry. Maybe update your quality settings. How to tackle the biggest challenge of making Noble Six come back? Well, I decided to look up the definition of sacrifice, and that is to give up something important or valued for the sake of other considerations. Noble Six gave his life for the Pillar of Autumn, Cortana and Master Chief escaping Reach, right? He was essential in humanity's survival, right? So respecting this decision in canon, even in a fan-made story, to me, is essential. In fact, it is actually a major plot point in the Ghost of Reach story, okay? So how do we do this? Let's consider the following questions. What sort of hell does Noble Six now suffer in? Because sacrifice implies that you're giving up something of value to yourself for the greater good. Well, what kind of hell does he suffer? Because if he does survive, well, what does it cost him? It doesn't necessarily mean that he needs to die, but what does it cost him, right? Could it be, and here's a good question, could it be seen as selfish that Noble Six didn't attempt to leave? Because he is, after all, a multi-billion-dollar super soldier in a war that has not seen its end. He did not try to escape. He instead tried to fight to the death. Now, this is just one perspective. I'm not saying that it is the perspective and that Noble Six and canon is selfish, but to fight for another day, was that disrespectful to Noble Team's own sacrifice if they could have made another Spartan continue to fight to the end? Just some food for thought. Could Noble Six redeem his sacrifice by helping Blue Team destroy Cortana, since she is a galactic threat that he has responsibility for? He delivered the package. Noble Team gave their lives to deliver the package, and now that same package is wreaking havoc on the galaxy. Does that not leave some room for Noble Six to redeem himself, right? Redeem Noble Team and make their sacrifice worth something, right? I know that there is already inherent worth because they did help save humanity through Halo 1 to 3, but again, food for thought. How can we still get the effects of Noble Six's death, the sacrifice, the honor, and the heroism without giving him up as a character? In essence, can he transform and die from within without actually dying? Does he actually have to die in order for his life to mean anything ever? Or is there alternative options that in this story can kind of express those things? And maybe even in some ways, if done really cleverly, be more meaningful? I don't know. To some people. Not saying that my writing's going to be better than Bungie or my friend's writing's going to be better, but could we, to some fans, make it feel like this story is something that could have been fleshed out in a different way? So these are all very important notes, and if you guys have any thoughts about that, you let me know, because this is something that I want to explore, and I want to do it the right way. Thank you for the super chat, Xavier. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yes, I'm looking for people to help. I'm looking for environment artists, 2D environment artists, and 3D modelers, okay? What did I learn from the teasers? So, got a lot of great feedback. Got some really good positive feedback and negative feedback, right? All helpful, all very helpful, right? So teasers and trailers actually are super, super helpful to me. Tells people what I'm doing, and thus they can give me thoughts and opinions without seeing the final thing, without me doing the whole thing first. So everything in teasers is work in progress, subject to change. There is massive interest in Noble Six. This is something that I did not realize that was so insanely big, but people just want to see Noble Six survive on Reach. This is something that people have been craving for forever. And yes, we'll be talking about Lost Wolves here soon, by the way. Someone's been asking. So I think I learned this when I made the Master Chief versus Noble Six video, and millions of people hyper-focused on this little segment where I had Noble Six surviving, that little flashback in that animation. And I realized, I was like, Jesus, I mean, people really want to see that more. So that's why I decided to make this teaser and engage people's interest, because didn't know if there was a whole lot interest or little. I like to work on things that people are interested in. And sometimes I don't, but writing. Okay, so the writing needs to be improved a lot, specifically the dialogue. Maybe a voice actor change on the Oni guy, which was not my official decision, but I wanted to see what people thought. I don't think I would replace Noble Six's voice actor, since he's kind of instilled in the show now, and I really love the actor's ability to deliver lines. Like, if you remember that line, once, yes, I mean, everyone's favorite line. So I think he's sticking around for the long haul, and not everyone's going to agree on the voice actors. Anyway, so better audio mastering on the dialogue. I agree. Kind of rushed the dialogue and the audio mastering. The cape is really controversial, which is why I asked in the chat, do you approve of the Noble Six cloak? And I'm thinking of meeting y'all halfway, having the cloak, and actually it's in the final script. It's more of a symbolic thing to Noble Six, and it's not so much as a thing that's useful. However, things are a work in progress. That is bound to change, but many people think that Noble Six being brought back from the grave is an insult to his character and makes Reach a useless game. And that's why I think that the previous slide, useless story rather, not useless game, but that's why I made this slide, to really meditate on it and make sure we do this the right way. I'm not trying to abandon or make like I don't really want to even call it like a fanfic. I'm really trying to make something that is a little bit, has more depth to the story than run-of-the-mill ideas. That's one of the bullet points here. More motivation to avoid run-of-the-mill or generic ideas. Everyone knows the story, the joke theory, that Noble Six runs away into a cave and survives and eats off scraps and eventually leaves Reach. And why there are some similar ideas to that in this story. There is a lot more going on that honors Noble Team, a lot of symbolic things that maybe might, I don't know, it's kind of reminding me of Life of Pi. There are things that happen in this story that doesn't really include a whole lot of dialogue, by the way, in most of this show. We are seeing a Spartan survive, and how does that look like in its most rawest moments? You know, it's not pretty, it's not glamorous, and it's a bit sad. It's a bit hard to watch, probably will be at times. But I think it's going to be a really fun trip for y'all. So, yes, I have to get this right the first try. There is no redos. I'm not going to remake this. There's not going to be episodes. This is going to be a 10 to 14 minute animation of Noble Six surviving on Reach and him going through the motions and developing as a character that sets him up for the Noble timeline, as well as future animations that I work with Reclaimer Gaming on, as well as other stories. So I was thinking, how do you tell a new story without repackaging Halo Reach or Halo games? In this scenario, we're only focusing on Noble Six, so there's not like a Noble Team there, right? Has similar goals of Lost Wolves. Thankfully, I'm already ahead of this quite a lot because I've been working on Lost Wolves Episode 1 and then now Episode 2. And I thought, as long as you have the characters and narrative and it respects and feels like Halo, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. And thankfully, a lot of people like the style that I've been doing these Halo animations as, right? And at least match Bungie's original Halo Reach cutscenes, right? Stay grounded in the source material. These are some notes from Lost Wolves, but it's totally applicable here. Sword combat and deeper and more compelling emotional stories. We want to delve into the violent nature of the Covenant, and to avoid cringe and to tell a story that you might see a real studio publish. I'm very, very aware of the cringe factor, and I want to make sure that we tell a story that is convincing. And speaking of which, let's just jump to this slide. How do you avoid cringe and cheesiness? This one is a big one because there's a lot of opportunity in things like this, projects like this, for there to be moments where maybe a director or writer might overextend in an area that they are not familiar in and try too hard or unbalance the dialogue or the relationships in a way that comes off as unnatural or forced, and it's not great. It can make or break a project. And thankfully, I think a lot of people said the Master Chief versus Noble 6 animation wasn't cringe, and I'm not even quite sure why that is the case. I think Reclaimer Gaming wrote a great story. I was never cringing at it. And of course, there's always going to be a factor of where you're like, well, I mean, I've cringed at things I've seen in official projects too, and real movies made by professionals. So we'll get to that at the end. But yeah, Reclaimer Gaming said he'll proofread. Thanks, buddy. So why it is ultimately impossible to prevent at least some people from disliking a story or cringing or finding it cheesy, there are some techniques that I use to help reduce this, and that is to just avoid bad storytelling, objectively bad storytelling, to make sure everyone has motivations, to think of undertoning in depth, to not overextend. Higher quality voice actors. I have quite a lot of actors and actresses that I've turned down that I think are talented, but I really do look for something special. Every time I find a voice actor or actress, I look for something very special and unique about them, and I want them to stand out. And I think the cast for The Lost Wolves is phenomenal. I love every single one of those guys. And especially with this story, we got to avoid glamorous action since this is based on Reach and based on the game. There is certain tones that need to be respected. There is certain dialogue, I guess, themes that need to be respected. Action, characters, the narrative need to be weighted and realistic, but not too much. It's a balance. And I'm aware, you have to be self-aware here, that I'm a limited to source filmmaker. And I could work on Blender or Unreal Engine, but this is the best engine that I know of where I can express my story and the story that I work with others in a way that comes off exactly the way I want it to. Like the directing is exactly the way I want it. The camera angles are very important to me. The piecing it all together is very important, right? And Source Filmmaker allows me to do that. However, since Source Filmmaker is a 2008 engine that was literally used to make trailers for Team Fortress 2 and Left 4 Dead 1, I think, then I am limited to a lack of drama or seriousness. However, that's why there has to be a little bit of lightheartedness to it. And that doesn't mean like humor or anything. It just means that it can't be super gritty, right? It's hard to put into words. So I don't think it's the viewer's responsibilities. I don't think it's y'all's responsibility to change your mind on things. But anytime you watch something, whether it be a professional thing or an amateur thing, a fan-made project, Halo Machinima, things like that, you have to have a little bit of space in yourself to, you have to be willing to be a kid again and be open-minded, right? If you treat this or hold it to the standard of being a professional project or having some, imperfections, you're just not going to enjoy it as much. So why I can't really control what millions of people do, these are the things that I have control over. But at the end of the day, you have to just kind of be open-minded and have to be willing to buy what you're seeing. You have to be willing to indulge in it and just fall into it, if you will, right? And I've seen cheesy stuff like, not to talk bad or down to his project, Rise of the Spartans, but Arbiter 617 had a lot of cheesy writing in it. But it was just like the characters just grew on you. the world grew on you, and then you would forget that you're in your room. You'd forget about life for a second and just indulge, right? You have to be willing to indulge. So is Noble Six just an overhyped self-insert? Who really is Noble Six, right? I mean, his character is so god darn vague. I mean, he says a paragraph worth of things, a small paragraph worth of things in Halo Reach. Who is he, right? Well, there has to be some self-insert in here, right? There's got to be a little bit of improvising, but the information that we do have on Noble Six, I think, allows us to create some kind of character, right? And this is something that, yeah, everyone's Noble Six is going to be a little bit different. But Noble Six here, I think, is like 22 or 23 years old. So he's a bit younger, far younger than Master Chief. And I really like how Reclaimer Gaming wrote Noble Six. And so I'm kind of building this character off that. And it's one that's got to still respect the stoicness of Noble Six, still vague in ways, allowing for the audience to kind of relate to the character, not too outspoken. In fact, he's got to be treated kind of like a younger, more naive, talkative Master Chief. In fact, Master Chief is already talkative enough in Halo 4 and 5, as well as the books. But that kind of stoicness is something that I'm kind of using as reference here. He has his own traumas. He has his own character arc. Something that allows him to be a great ally of Chief, a worthwhile character in this universe, while still having his own identity and personality separate from that of Chief. He's not just another younger Chief. He is his own character, and he is going to make actions different that of Chief, right? Should he stay dead in canon? Probably, but in this fan timeline, I want to explore what would be his character. We really know nothing about him, and he's always been a self-insert, so we're making it. Might as well make him our own, right? I don't know what else he would be, right? So I think we just went through, yeah, pretty much all the bullet points in this stream. So yeah, I think we're pretty much at the point where we could talk about anything regarding that. And so we can get into a Q&A section here. I quickly did promise, I did want to talk about Lost Wolves, which is probably a whole other thing. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if we should do the Q&A first. There is quite a lot of questions. We could at least catch up on them. So let me see what super chats, if we have any super chats around. So Xavier Johnson said, absolutely stoked for this. I'm a professional animator and would love to help contribute. I can link you my reel if you're interested. Yeah, absolutely. You can find my email on my About page. Thank you so much for the super chat. It really does help. Any super chats are going to be used for this project, directly or indirectly. All funding really does help. It allows me to spend more time on this, allows me to spend, I do want to have models made, concept art made, 2D environment art. So any super chats, revenue made even on commentary videos are probably going to be used for this, but especially super chats I want to use for this. Are you working with Reclaimer on this like you did with Chief vs. 6? Love the content. Yes, I am. It's not his version, it's my version, but he is helping assist me in this. So if there's a Spider-Verse, no, that's not a question. I'm trying to think. So yeah, if you guys could like post your questions if you already posted it, so I'm not having to look through the whole chat here, or just copy and paste if you still have them. Mark a word. Thank you. Wart. Love the channel. Love your content. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Really do appreciate it a lot. How much cash do you want for someone to consult? What do you mean? I'm a little bit confused about that. You don't have to super chat again. Just I'll look for your username. Do you mean like for you to like put your input in for the Ghost of Reach? Because I mean, I love all feedback. Yes, I am the creator of Bryant Films YouTube channel. How does Six get the Kirkri knife? Or however you pronounce that. Well, you could see the Master Chief versus Noble Six animation for that. How many people have you had working on this project? I wonder if I could actually throw. Let's go back to this slide, and then throw. Yeah, these questions up here. Perfect. Hey, Halo follower, I'm a filmmaker in the U.S. Are you interested in talking with other people about their Halo projects? I have something in development. Yes, Jay Scott. If you would like to email me, that's a really great way to just get my attention in a place where you have kind of any inquiries. So thank you. Best update ever. How many people have you working? War. I got you, Chief. Yeah, just to point it out, Ron's own story. I've had some input, but it's all his, so it's going to be really good. Thank you, Reclaimer Gaming. Really appreciate it. I do want input from you. I'll contact you soon. Chief would possibly be younger than 6, given the genetic altered child and all. No, that's not true. That can't be true. No, 6 was born after. I think he was born pretty late, like, what is it, 25, 30 or something? 25, 28, something. He's only 22 or 23 years old in Halo Reach, which is great because, like, I'm not really trying to do this on purpose, but that's pretty much the target audience for this animation is yeah. Holy crap, we got a $40 super chat. This is irrelevant, but if you could choose between Reach abilities or 4 abilities being added to Infinite, what would you choose? And do you even like 4's multiplayer, meaning like Armor Lock and Halo 4 loadout? Well, firstly, thank you a lot for that super chat. That super, super nice. Reach abilities and 4 abilities, I think I don't really like 4's abilities for the most part. I do miss Jetpack and things like that. I think they all should be pickups. And I think that, honestly, most of the abilities could probably make it into Infinite, like Hologram, even like a meaningful sprint ability that is a pickup that's used kind of like an equipment. And I don't really like 4's multiplayer. I mean, I think it's fun, but I don't really think it's Halo. I don't really like the drop pods and things like that. I think they kind of really went away from the roots of Halo there. But I got to carry on. But thank you so much, Mantis. Really do appreciate you and that donation there. Really do appreciate it. Okay, thanks for answering the question. Good luck on the project. Yeah, you're welcome, man. 343 needs to add elite sounds. War. I'm really into this story. I think it could be beneficial by looking at your script and seeing what you have going on. If it helps, I'm a non-combat vet who's been in Halo lore since 2002. Yeah, I mean, I am probably I could probably use someone that is that knows combat, and knows how. I don't know if non-combat would work for what I need, but thank you for the offer. Really do appreciate it. Why don't you hire the voice actor of Noble 6 from the game? That would be cool. It's certainly something I considered. I don't know. I don't want to get him into trouble. I don't know if Microsoft would have a problem with that. Just because I don't know if I want to poach Halo's voice actors, for my fan project, right? Thank you so much, Missing. Really do appreciate that super chat a lot. Will we see Noble 6's face while he's eating or drinking, or just taking a second to rest before slaughtering the split lips? That's a great question. We will see his head. His face, no. Mr. Follower, do you play with your followers? At some point I will, here in the near future. Was this fan-made, or did he actually survive? This is completely fan-made. He did not survive. 99% chance he did not survive. I hear people saying that it was confirmed that he didn't survive. So I haven't found that evidence myself, but yeah. Anyway, got a fun little last segment for you guys. And that is breaking down some of this, just showing you a little bit behind the scenes, because I thought it would be fun. This teaser was actually a concept teaser. Not saying that I don't have a lot done and that I can't get a lot done very fast. Thankfully, to XSense mocap allows for me to really to make scenes very quickly. In fact, most of the time it takes to make these things is what do you call it? Where you design like the moves and what they're doing. God, why can I not think of the name? Where you figure out all the fight moves and stuff. Am I going to figure out or am I going to reference any of the Halo books for this project? Yeah. Shadows of Reach is a great reference. In fact, might even have a segment in here for like a flash forward or something. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, here's the scene. Here's the opening scene. And we'll just, let's see. I had one camera angle where I was actually going to go through the crevices and rocks here. Choreography, thank you. Gosh, that was bothering the hell out of me. I went through about 4 camera shots, and I just ended up on this kind of, I don't know, where the camera's not moving much. I think I moved the camera a little bit too much sometimes, and I just like, you know, I think it can add a greater sense of, I don't know, cinematicness, of largeness in the world when the camera doesn't do a whole lot and you let the characters do a lot of it. A lot of the storytelling, I guess. I do too much movement on my cameras, basically. So his armor is actually not quite done. His cape is probably not final, might even be replaced to a smaller kind of cloak. He is carrying the God, I don't know how to say that. Kirky. What is the glowing thing? That is damage to his armor, and this isn't final either. But yeah, I just thought that I'd show what's going on here in the foreground. This is going to be used in the final animation. It's going to be built out, and it's going to be used as the one of the caves that he visits in the animation. There's only going to be 1 or 2, but certainly something I really wanted to make look good and add a little bit of wildlife to, such as these vines. We have a lot going on with the skyboxes in this film. Hopefully this doesn't break the illusion too much, but it's not like everyone's watching this, right? But yeah, there's kind of like a culture of like skyboxes being really beautiful in Halo, and I really want to make sure that I can keep up to the standard that of Bungie. This one was kind of really improvised all the way until the end. I was actually going to have a massive cavern with a ship being built inside of this ravine and then sunlight beaming through. So he was actually going to be in a massive cave. But somehow I got to the point where I wanted him on top of all the storms on Reach. And it looks a little bit too perfect here, I have to admit. There needs to be more destruction, more reds, more lightning and things. But yeah, Noble 6 is witnessing one of the carriers being built. And we also see a little bit of foreshadowing of like what he does to the Covenant, right? Real messed up stuff. If it were humans, you know, it'd be war crimes. How about you make a nuclear waste swim death? Halo needs to bring back core and assassinations. Just reading some of the comments. I keep forgetting you are using SFM for the OB, dismemberment, and high stake action, things like that. Skyboxes. Right now I'm just using the Doom skyboxes. This is why I'm looking for environment artist that can go in here and retexture and really make Reach a unique place, not something that's using skyboxes from other game. But yeah, stars never look good on textures, so I actually have this really great star system I found on the Steam Workshop. There's even like depth to it, which is very subtle, but it's just beautiful. No matter where you look, if you move the camera the right way, it can look so gorgeous. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. Ugh. We got these asteroids coming down to destroyed fleets. And you know, again, none of these sets are final. These are more like ideas for like lighting schemes and environments, you know. And here we see like a couple elites finding a couple other zealots, you know, killed. And it's kind of foreshadowing the dismemberment that we're going to see in this. And Noble Six really likes to use the energy swords against themselves. It's the elites themselves. I would like to get an SFM, but I can never find a good FX for Halo. What do you use? You just have to be really creative. That's why I like Source Filmmaker. Makes everything a lot easier to just get going, you know? Point is I want to tell a story, and it's hard to tell a story when you're constantly fighting over like minute things that don't really matter. At the end of the day, that's why I don't care to use Blender or Maya or anything, even though I know it would look better. I know I can build sets in Source Filmmaker just fine. We also have this one, which I really was not planning to put Noble Six in here, but I just thought that it would maybe, I don't know. It's a little cliche having him here, but just showing reach, you know. It's not just a brown wasteland, that there is some colors in here. Colors are really important for me to get. Looking good. What are we watching? Is this fan-made or real content leaked coming soon? Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But, yeah, so anyway, we could pivot back here. And real quick, just want to talk about Lost Wolves. This is a slideshow I'll probably be showing again at some point, especially for, you know, when Lost Wolves Episode 2 starts kicking off and everything. This is another fan-made series. Episode 1 is already out if you're curious. But, yeah, this is about Spartans surviving on Reach, right? Jada team. And same things as, like, the Noble Six story. I was able to do this with motion capture. There's some cool concepts that I want to, like, explore in Noble Six Ghost of Reach that I wasn't able to quite explore in Episode 1. But also same thing with Ghost of Reach. 75% of the story is to be slow. 25% is going to be fast combat. Probably a little bit more slow on Ghost of Reach. No more stupid runs. Need to make sure runs look good. And yeah, episode 1 to 10. So episode 1 to 5 is going to be season 1, and then episode 6 to 10 are considered separate seasons. As the story progresses, you're going to see why we do this. There's a big stopping point at episode 5 that is going to potentially tie in with the Noble timeline. This is something that I'd rather not talk about right now because, one, we don't really know, and one, even if we did know, I would rather not say. The set pieces and set designs and lighting and effects are taking a massive, massive upgrade in episode 2. Episode 2 is going to be about 22 minutes long, if not longer, probably up to 25, 28 minutes long. What is our design direction? We want it to be grounded with a splash of uniqueness. Cinematography has to be on point. It needs to have weight, believability, as if someone's actually running around with the camera. What is Source 2? We're developing this in Source 2. I was thinking about using parts of Ghost of Reach in Source 2, but I was just like, nah. But what I like most about Source 2 is that we're actually going to be able to have face capture in it. Which is really exciting. We're going to do real virtual production at times. We're going to have, me and some friends have figured out how to use VR in engine. So I'm actually going to be able to walk around while these Spartans are moving with a real camera in real life, which is just insanely fun. Source Filmmaker 1 is limited to 32-bit, whereas Source 2 Filmmaker runs on 64-bit, which means dramatic improvements on lighting, rendering, speed, capacities, you know, things like that. The big problems with the series is that we want to have stronger empathy. It is the utmost importance that viewers feel connected and empathize with the struggling Spartans, which is why we take their helmets off. And I can tell you, it's looking good. It's looking good. We need to get it looking great. But yeah, so we're going to flesh this out later when we start talking and marketing Lost Wolves more. But anyways, Lost Wolves Episode 2 is still in production. Probably not going to come out this year just because working on other projects that I feel a little bit more inclined to work on right now. But I'm really excited about this series. I haven't given up on it. And it's possible that this whole story might connect in and tie in with the Noble Timeline and Ghost of Reach. But we're definitely going to be writing it where there is possibilities for that to happen. I want both to be great, and I don't want these stories to suffer because they have to tie in with each other. So, yeah, it's something we're thinking about, something I'm not stressing out about too much. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Oh, that's a good question. Are the Lost Wolves Spartan 3s? Most of them are, except for Douglas. Douglas is the one with the, what is it? The Master Chief helmet on, whatever that. I'm bad with my helmets. How do you reckon Noble 6 project taking, how long? Oh, that's a good question. How long is a Noble 6 project going to take? I have to guess about 3 to 5 months. I'm not quite sure. I like to get it out before Christmas. But this is just the nature of things. I know that doesn't make some people very happy, but that's just, if we want this to be good, if we want this to be a knockout, then, you know, y'all got to be patient with me. And, you know, that teaser, I put too much time in the teaser, honestly, but I think it paid off with y'all. So anyways, that's a wrap. You can totally rewatch this stream. I'll leave it up for you guys. And I just really wanted to talk about some of these big things, and including Noble 6's Sacrifice. This is the big one that I hope you guys also meditate on if you've been on the fence about this, and if this changed your mind a little bit or made you think that maybe Noble 6 doesn't have to die. Let me know. Seriously, let me know in the live stream or in the comments, because I want to see if people are open to this and how we can tackle this. I have quite a lot written about this in the script itself. But yeah, any feedback is definitely welcomed. And I want this to be something that we can all celebrate together as a community, if this is your thing and if you want to. So anyways, guys, I think that'll be the end of the stream. But, you know, huge shout out to the super chats. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I actually do have a Patreon. Someone just asked. I do have a Patreon on Lightfire Studios. That's something I totally forgot to talk about. Lightfire Studios is my animation only channel. You can search it on YouTube, or you can find it on my channels page on my Halo Follower YouTube channel. So go subscribe to that channel. Only going to be uploading high quality animations over there, or director cuts. There will be a director cut of Noble 6 Ghost of Reach, and we'll probably be talking more about this soon, potentially next week. I don't want to overbear you guys with news. And yeah, so anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this, and I really appreciate it. I want to have a good time making this, so it's going to take a little bit, 4 or 5 months, I think, is a good goal. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next one soon, all right? Take care. Peace.